Alright, we're back with our IISS Intrepid in orbit around Kotori Prime. First survey of this system for the Imperium. They've still wrestling with problems, the drones and their software for gas giant refueling, which we're going to check. I didn't check during the transit from the planet, but basically they entered the system. Then they proceeded to the gas giant closest to the survey of interest, Kotori Prime, refueled successfully, although it took much longer. And then they proceeded approximately 4 days to transit to Kotori Prime and to get in orbit around it. So that's where they're at. Now the big news was they detected an incomprehensible alien artifact, an illuminated cube that's giving off gravimetric waves or causing gravity wells, but absolutely nothing else. And their sensors are not penetrating, etc. So the captain ordered them to go ahead and proceed into orbit, but as far from possible from the cube, but keep it on the sensors. So don't let it get behind the planet, but keep the distance and be ready to react at any moment. Constant sensor scan on it. They did a preliminary scan on the planet, or visual based added to what they knew. They knew it was already about 65% water, but now that they're closer, they're seeing it. The land that is there is crisscrossed by rivers and large wetlands. And there's a very tall, what appear to be tree-like things, so tall they're breaking the cloud cover. But beyond that, they're at the point now where, depending on if the cube does anything, they're going to begin their detailed planet scan, which probably going to leverage the planet builder charts here. We'll go through those. But there are some questions that need to be answered first. First off, kind of mundane stuff. I'm going to do a roll on the remaining 4 drones, do a repair check on 10 plus, and see. Right now they've only got 3 operable drones. So now they're going to do another 10 plus roll, and this will be the last time we roll. Either they're operable or they're not. So got 4 of them. I'm not going to do any modifiers. Just 10 plus 4 times. So I'll just do it like this. First one. Nope, one didn't work. Second one. That one didn't work. Wow, that one's broken. So I'll say broken, bad. Another one, inoperable. Not having much luck with these drones. Come on, let's get at least one of these drones a 10 plus. Nope. Nope. So they are down to 3 drones. That's it. So the drones are not going to be coming back anytime soon. Let me go ahead and update my... So that's it. 3 drones. 3 drones. So that question's been answered. Now the next question is, does Sunny find the backup software for the refueling software? Because they put the wrong version in. I'm going to go to General Oracles. You know, I kind of like this one because there's so many choices. I can do a yes or no with a but. Okay, so let's try that. We're going to do a D100. So we come down here, do 100. 1 die. Now the question is, do I want it unknown? Well, it's normally a good process to do backups, so I'll do an unknown. I'll just, well, I could say it's likely. It'll be an older version. Yeah. I mean, come on. I'm in IT. You back stuff up, and these scout ships have massive storage. What's a little software program? So we're going to do a likely. Close my eyes and stop. 13. Yes. Oh, we do have backup. Okay, so it's going to be we can restore from backup. So gonna have to think about that. So we didn't do very well on the drones, but no more drones recovered. recovered. Backup software found. I'll have to think about restoring it. Yeah, at this point, we'll try and restore later. We're going to have plenty of time, even when we're done in the planet going out to the 100 diameter for the next jump. So we will save that work for later. So we've resolved those two questions. Now I have to, now putting on my hat as a game master, figure out what the heck the purpose of this cube is. And the guidance here is, as you investigate it, etc. But we're in orbit. I want to see its purpose. Well, the crew may not know it. The purpose may dictate what it does while the crew is in orbit scanning the planet, doing a more detailed scan, as they're also keeping an eye on it. So this is also a 100. Where should we go? God, these are interesting choices. So let's just go for it. Let's see the purpose of the cube, not known to the crew yet. Here we go. Go. And close my eyes and stop. Dang, I'm rolling low. Conservation of living specimens. Okay, that kind of fits. Let me go ahead and put that in. Conservation of living specimens. So this thing will react only if the crew does anything to damage the planet, or life on the planet. And they didn't find any settlements. I haven't rolled on the survey targets yet, but we'll do that in the next one. But that kind of keeps it not doing anything while they're doing their scan. So that's a good thing here. So we will proceed with the scan because the planet won't be doing anything. Let me type that out. Purpose, conservation, so that's cool, of specimens. So it's keeping an eye on the planet. So we'll see if they end up doing anything to trigger it. But they don't know that yet. Alright, I'm back. Did the planet builder routine. I did it offline because there was a learning curve on it, but it is very detailed actually. So I'll do a brief summary here. First off, based on the fact that the cube is here to conservation of specimens, them being in orbit, just scanning is not prompting it to do anything yet. So they do spend the time and finish their planetary survey. That's how I'm going to play it. It's after that the captain has to make some decisions, and then we'll see how the cube responds to them. Based on already determining it's keeping an eye on life on the planet. We'll have to unpack that, but working through the planetary builder, like I said, it is detailed. So basically, I guess we had to figure out first what orbit zone we're in. So we were a main sequence M0. So that actually explains why this H means that's where habitable planets are, and everything else out is not, which perfectly fits our situation here. Where this planet, if you remember from previous ones, and then all the other ones further out, yeah, I think I got it here. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, only one habitable planet. All the rest in the main sequence here are various forms of gas giants or planetoid belts. Actually the same with the distant companion, so nicely fits into our situation here. And then we go through and we work through some other information about it, planetary diameter. I kind of put the rolls in here. I think I'm going to make this a little more automated going forward, but it's a 5,400 mile diameter. It's got a molten core. Density is 0.96 of Earth as we work through this stuff here. There's die rolls, etc. Then we move to the mass of the planet. which is actually 0.234. Yeah, world mass. And then you have to do all this math here. And then we get to the big one, the gravity. And we find out that this planet is 0.6 of Earth gravity, okay, which continues to fit here. Then we have to do some other calculations. A big one here is orbit distance, 0.2 AUs. And when we kind of factor that in, we find out that it's planetoid belt orbit. That doesn't apply here. Hold on. Yeah, the orbit period. That's what we're after. And it's down here. It's this calculation. But once we run the period, it's like 46 days is one time around the sun. M0 is not as luminous as, let's say, our planet, our sun, so hence it's relatively right on top of it. But the day is 27 or approximately 27 and a half hours. So it revolves around the sun rather very quickly, 0.12 of Earth. But its rotation period is actually larger. And then it's got a 22-degree tilt, so there's all sorts of temperature variations there. But no orbital eccentricity. I rolled a dry. So seismic stress comes in later. Planet mass 0.234. We got that. And we did find out the moon was actually, we had to go back to the here. I think it was here. Somewhere I've got this moon in here. System mapping. Oh, here we go. It's over here. We rolled for the moons, and we got an asteroid, or asteroids. So that's interesting, and we'll calculate that later. And these are the sizes. This was able to generate over here from the planet builder. I had to circle back and come to this. Got all sorts of detailed information on those asteroids. Let's see, belt zone, orbit period, 23 days. Yeah, I mean the asteroids now. I'm going to ask some questions about them. So basically at this point, what do we see with the planet? It's 0.6 gravity, goes around the sun in 46 days, approximately a little, 27 and a half hours rotation for a day. So it's approximately a little under 14 hours daylight, 14 hours evening. So got some good details about the planet. Going to be interesting to see. I mean, 46 days, if there's seasons with that tilt, they're going to be rather quick. And I've got charts for that even. We just moved through here, and we're talking about the atmosphere now. And they do make a rule if it's the atmosphere is 5, and it's standard oxygen, nitrogen, proceed to step 2. So we got a good oxygen, nitrogen. Then we got atmospheric pressure, half of Earth, 0.5. These all come down, but I think the key thing is the base temp ended up being 35 degrees centigrade. So that's doable for our team here. And if you do the math, that's about 702. 35 times 1.8. Let me do that real quick. 35 times 1.8 equals 6395. Because we got to add 95 degrees Fahrenheit. A little on the warm side, but that fits the jungle. 95 is just as a reference to my being US here. And we've basically figured out the temperatures all around that. Latitude temperature effects, you could go all the way down to 0 degrees centigrade to, this is one of their charts too. They have that somewhere else. I'll have to find that. Axial tilt effect. So the temperature varies anywhere between 0 to 50. And that's pretty warm on the 50 side. So it can get pretty odd. I mean, but it's still bearable. It's not indescribably hell. Here's your axial tilt. Winter can be minus 22 to plus 13. And they've got charts, and I haven't mapped it yet, so we're getting some good detailed information on the temperature. I'd say it can get cold for the winter, but more importantly, it can get really hot too. We've got our nighttime minus is 3 degrees per hour. Daytime is a half a degree per hour. And then they had stuff, was there terraforming, etc. And because the tech level is 0 and there's no intelligent life, there's no evidence of terraforming. But then we come down here and you can actually figure out the hydrosphere. That's down here. And basically more than half of water, and we rolled on this chart, and it gives you the number of continents, islands, etc. And it looks like if I did this right, there's 1 major continent, 6 minor, 15 major islands, and then 10, however you pronounce that word. I'm not going to try it right now. And then I rolled for volcanoes, and there's quite a spread there. 7 of these, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One place is pretty much all of 2 places are almost lots of volcanoes here. And then they've got resources. They've got agricultural, you can grow. Got ores, no radioactives we found. And yeah, here's what I did right here, natural resources. You can roll on that. So this is a very interesting world. I didn't take this as far as it goes. There's whole temperature charts you can look at here. I haven't actually done this. This is hex row, so I may generate a planetary map at some point, and then you can actually, based on the hex row, determine the actual temperatures. So I would say at this point, yes, this is a surveyable planet. The oxygen is good, half pressure, so you may need additional oxygen until you get acclimatized to it. But you also got 0.6 gravity. The temperature, depending where you are, and the time of season, though, with a 47-day rotation period, there is some variance here. So I'm assuming there's going to be ice somewhere. So I'll have to work that out. But then based on this, I can map out the planet if I want. So this is a pretty useful tool. I need to use it a few more times to get used to it, but this does give a bunch of good information. Hopefully I can automate it more here on the spreadsheet. But basically at the end of this survey now, and I'll calculate the time it took to do this later, is got some decisions here to make, and I've kind of recorded them over here, but now that they've done the survey, it really hasn't, unfortunately, told them anything about the nature of the cube. So there's still, that's a big unknown. So I would say Carol's choices are, the captain's choices are ignore the cube, land on the planet, or purposely approach the cube and try and investigate it directly. Or return to base and report about this unknown cube. Or maybe, I don't know, go to the next planet maybe. It'll give evidence. So, you know, I see that as 4 things for the captain to decide. So I'm probably not going to do the land on the planet with that cube still up there. Maybe investigate the cube, maybe go back to base. Don't know about the next survey planet, but that could be a possibility. Questions about the moon. It is an asteroid. So I'm going to roll for questions, and this will be in the next video here. Is that a naturally occurring set of asteroids? Was there a cosmic event? Or was it caused by previous civilizations or some kind of war? And then, of course, the last thing is, depending on what the captain decides, what's the cube's reaction if they land on the planet, or what's the cube's reaction if they approach it directly? So got a bunch of questions there. The next video will determine what happens next. So yeah, good survey, good exercise here with this planet builder. Guidelines here. I still got some more work mapping it out. But interesting planet, got some good details, but the cube is the joker in the mix. And now the captain has to make a decision. So stay tuned. Next video, we'll see what Captain Burnett decides to do going forward. So thanks for listening, and like, comments appreciated, and subscribe if you want to get the next report. Pretty momentous decision for her here, so hopefully see you in the next recording. Thanks for listening.